Okay, I'm back again to add another video to my Magical Library playlist. The next book that I wanted to talk about was by Sylvia Brown. This one right here, it's Contacting Your Spirit Guide. Now, my mother used to say that every one of her kids used to talk to the thing in the closet. Because she would come in and catch us actually talking to the thing in the closet. Um, The thing in the closet for me was my spirit guide. But when I started talking to the spirit guide, it was probably, it is every memory I've ever had that thing that was always in constant communication with me. Um, I know as early as 4, I was talking to the thing in the closet. I, at 4, thought that thing in the closet was God. And I talked to God all the time. When I was a little older, Sunday school had taught me that that thing in the closet could not ever have been God because you can't talk directly to God. You have to talk to Jesus. God didn't hear you unless you talked through Jesus. So I thought, okay, maybe the thing in the closet's Jesus. Got a little older, it never felt right that I was calling the thing Jesus that I talked to. Matter of fact, the thing in the closet always seemed more female to me than male to begin with. And that's when I thought, because I was getting a little older and understood the concepts of guardian angel. I hadn't really heard spirit guide yet, but I remember guardian angel, and I thought, it was my angel. And I was comfortable with calling um, this thing angel. And but I do remember a time before I learned about really the concept of guardian angels and really what it meant, that I had gone back to just talking directly to God because I said, God, you've always talked to me, and it didn't feel right because I was supposed to be talking to God, but I was supposed to say in Jesus' name, and I confused it that I had to talk to Jesus for God to hear me, and they had my head so messed up on that concept never went well with me, and I was always in trouble in Sunday school anyway. 6 years old, I was fighting the Sunday school teacher when she told me that on an Easter Sunday, I'll never forget it, that the Russians didn't love their children, and that's why they were going to throw nuclear bombs at us, because they didn't care that we were going to throw nuclear bombs back at them, because they didn't care about their children. And I stood up and told them I didn't believe that Russian people did not love their children, and I got in big trouble for that. But anyway, that was me in my life of rebellion in religious circles at as early as 6 years old. Um, Contacting your spirit guide. So I'd always had contact with my spirit guide. I always talked to this this thing, this entity, this spirit, this guardian angel. Didn't matter what you wanted to call it. I didn't feel it was a relative. I didn't have any sense that I had known this person before. I didn't feel it was a person. I never got that feeling. But when I got the book Contacting Your Spirit Guide, I read the book, and when I went through, there's a CD involved, and it takes you through a meditation. It's some simple meditations, and these meditations are extremely effective. But in there, as she walks you through these things, one of the things that she walks you through when she gets you to the point of meeting the guide that will be there in a gazebo, um, basically she says to ask their name. And I was like, okay, and I did this, and the name came back to me. And I'll keep that to myself, what her name is. But anyway, I heard the name. It was an extremely high-pitched sound. When she communicates to me, I don't hear it like that. I hear it almost as my own voice, but I always hear it right at the back of this shoulder into this ear. And I hear it, but it's almost in my own voice, but I know it's her, and she'll tell me, turn this way, not that way. That over there really looks nice. And I want to look into that. She tells me things all the time. When I heed the voice and I do, whatever comes up, I pay attention and, act upon it, I'm always okay. I ignore the voice or don't recognize the voice because maybe I'm a little too stressed, a little too whatever, and I'm thinking it's myself. I always get in trouble. She's always there to kind of guide me, push me this way or that way to where I avoid an accident, I avoid trouble over here, or pick that up because you're going to find out you don't have any kind of thing, and that kind of thing. She's always looking out for me. She's like a best friend all the time. And but I'd never, ever, even through all my confusion as a young child over what the thing was called, God, Jesus, guardian angel, never thought once to ask her name. I just talked to her and talked to her and talked to her, had long conversations out loud. That's why my mother said I was always talking to the person in the closet, because that's how I would have a direct conversation. It would always be thrown forward. And literally in my bedroom, it was the closet that I always focused on. And she must have thought, my mother must have thought, oh my God, my child is crazy. Except that all 4 of her children did it. So, and we were very far apart in age, so it wasn't like we all knew the other one was doing it, so we did it. We really didn't. It was just that all of us had that same habit. We all were naturally inclined to have these things, 2 boys and 2 girls. And 7 years from me and my sister, there's 5 years from me and my brother that's closest to me, and 10 years between me and my other brother. So it wasn't like we knew each other's habits. I didn't know that until my mother started saying things like, every one of my kids talked to the thing in the closet. She knew, but we had no concept that the other one did all these things. But it was Sylvia Browne that, even though I had contact with my spirit guide, it was this book here in this meditation CD in there that actually gave me my spirit guide's name, mainly because I never thought to ask her. And it also brought me into a different relationship with her, and it opened more doors spiritually and on the higher planes as well. So I highly recommend this book. I did it with my group that now starts meeting with me fairly regularly. It's almost sort of like a working coven. And we performed this, and every single one of us contacted the spirit guide. It is a very effective meditation tape or CD, and each one met their spirit guide and received their name. I performed it on a girl who is naturally gifted as well, and she also came in contact with her spirit guide. I put her on a Reiki table and calmed her down some with Reiki before we went into the meditation, and she too got messages from her spirit guide. So every person that I have played the CD for has been successful with it. So I think that I would highly recommend everybody have that on their bookshelf, um, and have it, if not even for yourself, to help others meet their spirit guides as well too. Highly effective. Love Sylvia Brown, and I just wanted to share that as another book to add to your magical library. Thank you so much. Love and light, and blessed be.